This one, I corrected the sound problem. Unfortunately, you should be able to hear some of the sound produced by the fan of the computer. I can't really remove this, just reduce the gain, but whatever. Maybe normally, if I do that, my experience is some problem with the memory of the computer. I can't change that. I'm not going to do anything extraordinary today. Perhaps the segment on first contact, but I'm not sure about that. I don't know if I can make a convincing segment. I'll try this later on. Um, what can I review? Hey, we can go look at the different first contact projects. That's good. That could be a good idea. Mm. Oh, this computer is so slow. I'm really sorry about that. This is why streaming is extremely difficult. It means technical capabilities that most people don't have. I mean, most computers are not meant to do that kind of work. Mics are shit, webcams are shit, stuff, software like OBS are not easy to handle. It's a mess. I mean, I wish people had like better capabilities for stuff like streaming and recording on stuff, especially with Macintosh, which is garbage. But you know what? We'll go in the website on. Obviously, not being a native English speaker doesn't help, especially with the accent. I'm not going to lie on this. I genuinely hope to train myself to speak in a way more reminiscent of how, um, especially English from England sounds. But this is the future website, right? So, if you want to know, this is the page for the project Insane. But I don't know, the segment is going to be a bit difficult. I need to show summarize stuff about Randy Donny and the island and shit. I don't know. Maybe I'll do like an edited vid. I don't know, man. This is a mess. I really feel, I don't know, I don't really feel well that week because of quarantine and shit. I mean, we don't have strict quarantine, but we can go to university. We can't eat in a restaurant. We can go to in a fucking bar. It's fucking. I don't really complain about this. Obviously, we need that. We need those measures, but it has an impact on the well-being of people, that we want it or not, especially young people. So those are the different projects. I wanted to read some Lily Mabe. Is this still streaming or okay? Yeah, Mabe wanted to read some Lily. I don't know. This is not finished, so if it says stuff which is not exact, that makes sense. Okay. Some of them are not people that made first contact per se, but rather worked in linguistics on alluded to the possibility of first contact rather. But I put them in because they're of interest nonetheless. I probably make a division between like serious projects, people that theorize the issue, and then more like peripheral stuff, like Markov and whatnot. I don't I don't think this is a real project. Apparently, they just mimic dolphin whistle for military communication. That's not a real first contact project. Probably going to delete that part. There are two Swedish projects. I'm not sure exactly what they want to do, but it seems dumb. I mean, from what I've read, this is more of study on situation acoustics rather than a first contact project. But they've made discoveries and found some stuff which apparently is of interest. Yeah, one of my problem with the different first contact projects today is that they don't like each other. They barely refer to each other. So, for instance, the Elvis project back in 2007 made that claim of making an echolocation visualization interface system. This is more or less the same claim that was made parallelly by Kasewitz and by Herzing. And I believe it was also made by some other projects, perhaps the Darwin project, but I'm not sure. But it's extremely symptomatic that different projects claim to have made the same discoveries but never refer to each other. But we will go over the literature. Maybe, I don't know. This is not first contact per se, but interactions between some specific figures and solitaries are ways of interest. I've heard some faint. I think it's possible that who is he called? He died recently. No, who's oh my god, who's he called? Oh, I'm very sorry about that. This is Macintosh for you. This is shit. I forgot how this person is called. He died like in July. I Horace Dobbs. So the it's not Kusowitz, it's Kusowitz. There is, I think, in some of his books I haven't read them. There may have been some tentative by Horace Dobbs to like try to communicate with some of the solitaries, but I'm not sure about that. So did I make Horace Dobbs twice? Yeah, I did. Going to this is not really important. This is really fragmented. This will be changed. Don't worry about that. I think I'll read some Lillian. If I'm in the mood, I'll do other stuff, but I don't think so. I think I'll just, I don't know. Yeah, yes, that's interesting. I found that PDF made by that person. No, what the fuck is this? Don't tell me there is memory problems. Just fuck off. So that person made a sort of abstract, sort of summary of different research and projects when it comes to cetacean language. That could be of interest to the project is saying. I don't know. I'm just. Wait, is this the title we've seen yesterday, 2 days ago? No, I don't think so. I want to read more about elephant language because I know there's like length evidence, but I need to read it because I want to see the exact studies. I know the why. I know. I'm sorry. I'm sorry to defend her like that, but I forgot her name. Roger Spain's wife is an expert in elephant acoustics and linguistics, but I'm not sure if she's the only researcher in that field. I don't think so. But yeah, so this is fucked, right? This is the first Lily. Well, the second one also qualifies as such, right? Like you force a cetacean in captivity until they speak. I mean, if you don't, I mean, it's extremely symptomatic that what was done in anthropology for more than a century with Malinowski and whatnot wasn't applied to cetacean at least in the 60s. It's, yeah, sure, Herzing on sorts, but yeah, yeah. So, again, if they're conscious of the problem, why they're not using frequency translocation? That's part of the problem. I mean, I'm sorry to repeat myself, but why deciphering the potential language of dolphins? Why not? Why deciphering? Why this obsession for crack coding? This is not Alan fucking Turing. Why not creating a middle language? And it's interesting because, again, I've talked about this in another stream, but Herzing is a good instance of that because, for instance, she claims to make a middle language, yet she's obsessed with this notion of crack coding. It's whatever, we go over that because I want to go in each project, each claim in detail. I don't want to miss anything because I know that when we'll do our project in say we'll be attacked by those people. So we have to be extremely precise when it comes to our empirical data, extremely precise with every every claim we make. A multiple discipline investigation, not such thing special. Yeah, well, one of the reasons is, I mean, yes, there are individual actors, but the fact that they don't work together is extremely symptomatic. Why not? Why people, they may disagree with each other on such, but why people like, I don't know, Sugarman, Kasewitz, Herzing, well, Kuya is dead, but the team that follow Kuya's work, etc., are not working together in a common goal. The fact that they work separately and they don't cross each other's data and they don't refer to each other is extremely symptomatic. I mean, it's kind of weird how they phrase it because they say no system is special from the required disciplines. Okay, but what? Who's this person? James T. Fulton. I'm going to. I think I made the research already, but yeah, neuroscience researcher. Okay, we've made that research. Sorry, I just do that because like then I have like I have a tendency to be silent for long times, and I don't want to make the stream too fucking boring. So I do that. So okay, so the phone program and also the use of vowels in citations is recurrent debate. The mother. So I want to. I don't agree with that. I genuinely don't agree with this like obsessive use of cryptanalysis. I get where it comes from, but again, I may be wrong on that, but the fact that they're not trying to create a middle language before uh, uh, um, before resorting to this obsessive use of crack coding mental like yeah, obviously. Wait. Oh fuck! I can make. Oh no! Don't tell me it's one of those PDFs. No, I don't want to make a text. I want to. No. No. Oh my god. Oh wow. I know there's a possibility of no. Shit. No, that's not what I want. No. Fuck. Oh well. Yeah. Okay. So once you. So apparently there's two modes to some PDFs have that. I don't know. I don't agree with that, but whatever. I mean, no, it's first, we need a crypto analysis of whatever they have to say if we have a middle language. One solves the other. Secondly, I mean, in the sense that we can talk to them and try to ask them about how their language function, blah, blah. But like, again, the fact that there's no serious effort to, like, Horizon claims that, but she's clearly know what she's doing, whatever. There's no effort toward a serious use of or serious creation of a middle language apart from what we're doing with Russell and whatnot. I mean, I mean, again, I can't know until I test both devices, which this is probably going to be in February. On even then, I cannot predict the future. It's possible that the quarantine situation in France is going to evolve in such a way that I won't be able to do this in February. I have no idea. What do they mean by entropy in that? Right, because I guess entropy doesn't mean the same thing in linguistics. I'm not. I have notions in linguistics, but I have people that help me try to understand key notions and such. Okay, yeah, I know what they mean. So the amount of information carried, the arrangement of words, across all language. The amount of information carried in the arrangement of words. No, I don't care about that. Come on, I fucking hate that. Please kill me. Please kill me. I fucking hate that. Don't blame me for being a noob on some basic linguistic stuff, okay? I have people that help me and whatnot. I know what I'm doing. That's the key. If you're not an expert in a given field, like, just try to have like expert in a given field help you. Like, if I'm confronted to Randy, I start to vocalize in the device, in the not the device, but like the hydrophone. And there's currently an issue when it comes to like uh, establishing meaning within both parties. Obviously, I'll have to. I have to. I forgot the word for that. Defer to people that are linguists or whatnot to solve key issues. But okay, yeah, I get it. I knew that intuitively, but it's a question I ask myself often when it came to conversation with Randy. Like, should we try to create the simplest common words? Because like that's the problem, right? One can fantasize about speaking with a cetacean when it comes to like high metaphysical matters, or asking them stuff like their religion or the conception of death, or like explaining to them stuff that has to do with their civilization if they're curious. The problem is that implies the use of a simpler word base that will take months, if not years, to be established. Like, and it implies a lot of context or a lot of like peripheric words that, like, if I if I have to say to, for instance, imagine I want to explain to Randy the concept of money, I will have to explain so much stuff around that concept of money, like the exchange of a material thingy that we make, how we make stuff, the fact that humans hoard stuff, that we have a whole economic system based on the mass production of vegetation we breed, what is breeding, domestication, like it's fucked, you know. That's one of the things. I think there is a difference between fantasy and reality there, right? I mean, I would love to be able to first. I mean, maybe he would not be interested in our societies, so isn't it a bit colonialist to like try to expect him to know everything about societies? Secondly, probably this will this will be more this will be more about their interest than ours. Like, this will be more about knowing how they work, or for them to tell us how they function, rather than having us tell them how they function. Apart if they understand that understanding how we function is of interest for their survival, which is possible. But I would be surprised if it's possible, but that if it's a norm in cetaceans to try to, I speak in a 20 or 30 years scope, right? I would be surprised if most cetaceans would be interested in urban societies. I don't know why do they use the notion of entropy for. I'm really fuzzy today. Yeah, well, there are languages when it's different. Ancient Greek is an example of a language where you can place the words everywhere you want, but you have that thing which I hate because it's that characteristic of Latin and German as well, but which is not characteristic of Roman languages or English, which is you know this word genitive, dative, that thing when in the end of the words you change the way the word is pronounced in the end, and then every word in the sentence is changed like that. So in order to convey the meaning of a certain time, if it's in the past, the future, whatever. I don't know who to speak today. I'm sorry. This is characteristic of German. It's hell to me. It's very counterintuitive for me. Whether it's like my intuition, I could be wrong on that, by the way, but my intuition is there will be more if I speak to Randy. Whether if we succeed in creating a middle language, the words will be mostly from our side, or like very deformed, simplified forms of how they speak. It's probably more echolocation based than heard sound based, if you will. But my guess is that the structure of the middle language will be closer to theirs. That will be my guess. As far as I'm aware, that's how creoles on pidgins tend to function as well. Sorry, I can't have an intelligent conversation right now. The measure of uncertainty, okay. Okay, yeah, I get it. Uncertainty in what kind of words will be used at what. Okay, still kind of fuzzy in my head. The force that stops languages from becoming stagnant after a certain point of simplification. Struggle between markedness and faithfulness. Okay, yeah, I get it. Okay, yeah, that's a classical problem in philosophy as well. Just I didn't have the yeah. This is going to be an extremely quiet stream. I'm not going to like rage over these or insult anyone. So I mean, there is a possibility that they may have a structure of language which is more like Chinese and stuff like that. That's kind of I'm kind of afraid that their structure may be so alien to not like to humans or whatever, but I mean to me, as a person that speaks English, French, and Spanish, that's it may it would have been easier if I was speaking another language, whatever. We can't predict that, so I'll have to make an effort anyway. So that's the thing, right? I mean, you can you can establishing base words on such is not necessarily a problem. That was done before. The problem, I believe, is more on the grammatical structure and whatnot. I mean, how you structure grammar on such. I mean, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I think I would be the fucking. I believe I just be a really dumb student to him. That's how I predict things. But you know what? I can't predict things. So oh, so they have like classifier for air stuff, like for birds, for trees and shit. Whoa, but there must be like hundred of them. I think I knew that and I forgot about that. Sometimes you study something intensively and then you forget about it and like stagnates in some corner of your brain and then you dig it up like 3 years after, whatever. But that's interesting. Is this in all? Okay, so in okay, yeah, whatever. Come over to that. Sorry, I'm not being smart right now. I mean, they did Lily show that like back in the Lily on some other guy, I forgot his name, have shown that in the early 60s. This is not. I mean, it's obvious that they communicate with each other. The problem is how do they convey meaning on stuff. And apparently, it was shown by several experiments, Ria above Lily that other guy. I mean, Herman did something similar, I believe. I'm not sure. I mean, this is. I don't believe the problem is if it conveys meaning. I think it's more like the structure, grammatical structure, whatever. This is important. I think this is the fog brain, whatever. If you've seen my, I'll make a segment on my criticism of the brain argument, but whatever. But the inquisitiveness for me is important. This is something which is owed by some skeptics, right? Like, okay, yes, you have like, in theory, you can communicate with them, but will be they interested? Could they be interested by something which is not necessarily a piece of fish or like a toy, whatever? I believe, yeah, they do. On empirically, that has been shown. But like, here's the thing, though: if the word is mostly acoustic or not visual, will be they're interested in humans which are mostly visual, not acoustic. Why creating a bridge between all cultures or biological characteristic is important, right? Like something which is, yeah, I get Lily. Yeah, Janus was kind of that, right? Not well established, but I get why Lily thought the way he thought in the Janus when he made that visual thingy, which I think was a waste of time. But I get his reasoning, right? Because the whole reasoning is also like, okay, we'll create something which is a hybrid between an acoustic system and a visual system. But I don't think this is really needed, right? If you create something which approximate kind of true frequency translocation, right? Their acoustic system. It's already a bridge by itself. Do you really need to bridge that with a visual element? I don't think so. Like, if you bridge whatever, sorry, oh, whatever. If you succeed in bridging what will be their languages, modalities for languages, linguistic modalities, you can convey meaning when it comes to the visual aspect of full cultures and whatnot. Yes, we believe that's where how cetacean evolved echolocation, like Archaeoceti, like starting to use echolocation for because they could not use their eyes when they're like um, chased fishes in muddy waters. But that's, I mean, but that's not the only ecological niche cetacean occupies because obviously they can also like hunt in deep water, hunt in shallow water, hunt in open sea where the water is clear or whatever. Oh, that's interesting. They use tribal as a word. I haven't seen that being used a lot. This is interesting. Clan sometimes, not tribe. It's interesting. Yes, but there are also indications that one they interact a lot between each other's well tribes, if you will, and also that there is at least in some cases some form of like pidgin or lingua franca between them. That has been argued by some cetologists. There's some observational empirical data backing that up. I'll go over that. This is not very intelligent. But like I don't care about that. This is the mainstream thinking about the mother, which is not very interesting. Oh fuck! I can build it. I really hope you don't hear my folks, because I haven't. I'm taking some like short vacations in my folks' home before moving the whole setup in the flat. I've heard a smoker, but it's interesting they speak of archaeology. Why archaeology and not paleontology? That's interesting. Why archaeology? That will be paleontology, right? Whatever. I mean, I wish there was a cetacean archaeology, but they don't produce like technical, they don't produce like flakes or lithic industry. So I would be extremely surprised if something like this could be. I don't see how. You can argue that cetacean have like an impact on the environment that could be like uh, guessed in the geological records, but I don't see exactly how today. Oh, that's interesting. Yes, we have a ghost lineage between like Archaeoceti on modern Odontoceti. I didn't know that genus. Sigoriza, okay. Okay, but today does that range the wall frequency spectrum or just I'm not sure if this is true, but yes, obviously there is a truncation of the vocalization. What they say truncation? Do they mean like also? Although that one of the problems with cetacean recording is that they didn't show the same complexity or language like patterns of humans because of that 20 kz truncation. I don't know. That may imply that it. I don't know. I have to read that paper. This is okay, but we've seen data like 3 days before that said it wasn't, and it was just in proportion. Like, oh no, I don't care about brain. I literally don't care about brain. The brain thing is fucked. Like, the, we'll go over that. Make a segment, okay? I'll make a segment about the brain. I thought it wasn't though. I thought data contradicts itself on this. Yes, yeah, that's important because I mean, if Marina admits that, it isn't she like contradicting herself in her conclusions? Whether yes, I argue that. That's one of the arguments. That's see, that's why epistemology on fucking how is he called? Oh my god, I was speaking about him like 3 days ago. Like fucking that epistemology is from the 60s. Oh my god, I can't believe I forgot his name. Um, Hilary Putnam. That's why Hilary Putnam is important. That's why criticism of type physicalism and multiple realizability is important. That's one of the reasons why I'm extremely critical of the brain argument. We'll go over that. It's not impossible that Marino partly accepted, like admitted that, and like I don't want to go over such a piece of data. Okay, so from the delphins, which is not the tour shops, which is not the tour, which is smaller, which are another species. This is probably not really relevant when it comes to the overall structure, but it's relevant from a methodological point of view. I didn't know she started that in 2001. I thought that was more recent. However, this is not important. What do they mean, like behavioral evidence for a high degree of hemispheric independence? What do they mean by that? How their behavior can reflect the fact they have like hemispheric independence? I don't get that. I'm curious about this. No. And I'll download that paper. Wait, what is the paper? Where is the? Oh my God. Okay, wait. Yes, I know. I could have went in the reference and found it, but like, I fucking hate that woman, but whatever. I need to go over her research on her text on productions if I want to be able to efficiently critical school work. In due time, we will try to debate her. She would never accept that. She's an extremely bad debater. She's notorious for like being extremely like dismissive of her adversaries. I don't care. She's not very smart, but like what debate wise, I mean. So I think she if I try to debate her, she would probably try to shame me to death. That's my key point. And so she has like an army of stands. It's near impossible to have any Facebook debate, right? But I don't know. I don't think she will ever accept to go on street. I don't care. I don't care about this woman. I mean, I don't care about this woman. No, I care about in the sense that behind the character, I care about the structure of how the structure of power when it comes to future centuries, dynamic of our activism, collaboration with the film industry. That's what interests me, not the person itself. Being interested in the person itself is part of this. Is if you have like enemies online or people you don't like, please don't focus too much on the people. Focus on the structure behind the people. This is or whatever. I'm not going. I'm not. I'm not going over that. This is not interesting. She published a lot in 2001. Wait. What do they mean by those symbols? She's not dead, right? No, okay. When they put a cross, okay, I'm an idiot. Yes, I'm against that. So, I'll make section on bodily autonomy on the consent and whatnot. Wait, but where do they talk about this hemisphere thing? This is no. So what the fuck? That must be another paper. I must make a mistake somewhere. Yes, I've seen Greg here. He's wrong, by the way, but we will go over Greg on deconstruct his argument. Most of his texts are dumb, but I get where they come from. Basically, he's not very good at epistemology. I'm not going to lie on that. He ignores key pieces of data, whatever. He makes a bunch of mistakes, which Bateson also makes, by the way, but okay, that's a quote. So if it's a quote, I could find that quote. Because what do they mean by behavioral? Because that could have like consequences. No. Okay, it's 2001B. Okay, right. I'm dumb. Oh, come on, man. That means the second quoted. That could be it. That's probably it. Wait, but that's 2002, not 2001. No, come on, man, no! This guy. Oh, free article, okay. What do they mean by... Wait, what do they mean by behavior evidence? That's... Okay, 2001, that must be it. Okay, so let's... At least everything is free. At least everything is free. Well, Skyhub is your friend, but that okay, but does it mean oh, okay, it's probably because of sleep patterns. What a fucking idiot. Yeah. Yeah, it has to do with sleep patterns. Yeah. Yeah, it's probably that. It must be that. That's independent movement closure, observation behavior nocturne. Right? Yeah, that's it. Yeah. Okay, no, who cares about that? This is not important. So basically, if they know that there is what they call a C2 architect, different C2 architecture installations, why do they make that thing where they like take like they I don't remember the vocabulary and shit, but I remember that they concluded something like cetaceans are less technical and more emotional than us because of the shape of their brain, some stupid neuromancy shit. Or again, ideal ideologues love to contradict themselves. So if she contradicts herself on that, it's not particularly surprising. Again, a problem is not the use of the brain as an argument per se, because it is an argument per se. It is the use of it as a primary argument against the impulses of behavior, implying that behavior cannot be a sure tool of analysis. Now, how this also can be like co-opted or reused to make a Zardus interpretation on the cetacean mind in order to justify system of operation, control, exploitation, whatever. Oh, yeah, well, they were talking about that here. Huh. I I spent 10 minutes for nothing. I was aware of that. I don't know why it's not like being talked a lot by people on the field. I don't know. Ivan, for instance, widely ignored that the species of evidence from monkeys maybe went against a certain narrative he had. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong on that. I think some birds do the same thing, by the way. Not sure about that. I mean, why? You can, like, supputate a form of proto-language. I mean, how do they know this, though? Is this a claim that was made like Aristotle or such? I'm not sure about that. That seems extremely speculative. I need the data on that. I'm not aware of like pre-modern attempt toward two-way communication. I could be wrong on that, but I'm not aware of such. I mean, the ultimate goal of this work is to decode. Not necessarily. Not necessarily. Creating a bridge language or middle language makes more sense. His obsession toward cracking the code is kind of like, it's interesting because our project is not like creating a new invention. We're not like Alan fucking Turing. Our thing is, it's more a simplification. First, it's using the same technology that was used by what's found on UQCs that exists since the 40s. It's basically a simplified radio. And secondly, it's more like simplifying and streamlining something that was done since decades. It's more of, it's the, oh my God. I hope you don't hear that. It's more of a simplification of a process rather than, it's the inverse, it's the opposite of an invention, if you will. They say that, but that's not exactly true. No, because the, one of the most striking facts regarding first contact with many population in the context of the age of exploration and commercial actions between notably European and local people is the creation of various pigeons. Just isn't he talking about that? Yeah. Touring on shared, but this is the. I know it's tempting, it's romantic, like oh yeah, it's going to the quality of the language, huh? But no, that's the fucked up part. If I fail to create a bridge language, then I will consider. But no, the bridge language is the. Even Herzing talks about this. Why? She doesn't do it efficiently, but she talks about it. While Lily talks about it. I'm sure there are other like common projects that try to do something like that. And then what? Even if they do it, will they change fundamentally their relationship to cetaceans? That's the problem, right? I don't care about the linguistic itself. I care about the political and conceptual and practical implication of all of this. Yes, Markov, that's important. What is if? Okay, so what is a zip function? I think I know what this is, but I want to be sure I'm not making. Yes, I was aware of that. I just forgot about. Yeah, okay. Yeah, Greg, fucking Greg, man. Okay, what ground rules? We'll go over that and try to review this shit, but I don't know who Turner is. The defense election was it though? I mean, yes, yes, that's important as well. But like, why isn't the Olo talking about the possibility of British language when Evan Herzing talks about that, and Lily talks about that? It's extremely fucking strange to me. Like this is the problem I have with most of the people that the papers that are done on the matter. That's my problem with Greg on Bateson, right? They seem like they're extremely smart on some aspects and then they totally fail on others and completely ignore key pieces of data that are extremely easy to find. That's my main fucking problem. Okay, behavior. Okay. Okay, yes, that's important because this is an important way to debunk notably Bateson's claims, but we'll go over that. We'll go over Bateson, don't worry. Yes, that makes sense. The pet purpose experiment, blah blah. We'll go over that. I don't know why they don't discuss early 60s stuff because they should do because they're the basis of the later stuff. Also, Lily that you wanted to know made a certain number of important discoveries. We can't just dismiss Lily because he's like weird and shit, but because he did fucked up shit. I mean, we whatever. This is important. I could still man the other side. Okay, yeah, that's an important potential contact site. We'll go over that. Were they? The correct text appears to rely upon the homocentric philosophy that any language must be directly translated into English on a near word for word basis. This is true, this is retarded. This is extremely retarded. Because you can do this with human languages, that's obvious. It's obvious, my god. He's not. Greg fails on a certain number of key epistemological issues, for instance. One of his most well-known quotes is like, "Oh yes, if dolphins, why do we expect dolphins to have a language if uh, more than we expect dolphins to like beam lasers from their eyes on bent spoons or whatever?" What he doesn't understand is there's a lot of circumstantial evidence from brain behavior acoustics that push us, evolutionary science, whatever, that push us toward the expectation that it doesn't have a language, let alone everything we know from the data that was collected so far and so on. The fact that Greg ignores that and doesn't realize that is extremely fucking telling. I mean, he's focusing on as much. This is weird because Greg has talked about like dolphins raping or whatever. So and he talks about like some dolphin population killing purposes as a sensationalistic way of dismissing the idea of cetacean as gentle. I don't know what he says that, but whatever. Also, like when they say gentle, I assume that they're talking about their relations to big mammals rather than smaller nectonic species or whatever. I don't know if it is a good argument. He could have found better arguments to try to dismiss Greg, but whatever. Like it's terrible what I'm going to say, but the problem when we're talking of cetaceans as like a Pacific species, we're not really talking about the hunting. Well, yes, or the orcas that kill dolphin, whatever. But in general, we're not talking about them eating nectonic species. We're talking about the fact that they save all the humans, save all the cetacean, blah blah, interspecies adoption, like this kind of stuff. The fact they don't have like wolves as we know them, like we see in chimps. By the way, we don't see them in elephants as well. Although that could be an artifact of the disappearance of elephant populations. I don't know. Well, wait, I don't have a lot of battery. Wait a minute. Anyway, I'm going to leave in probably a few minutes, but I want to shit. Don't tell me if this is the case. No. Okay. Cool. Um, not a very working different natural. I mean, okay, but that assumes that. Uh, I won't have worded things that way because, especially because the advancement in AI could change that in the future, or whatever. Oh, okay, okay, whatever. I could be wrong on that. Okay, but that's he classifies things in an extremely rigid way. The whole point of discussing non-human language is that we don't know that, right? But also, I yeah, he sure would fix that way. I dislike the fact that he talks about primitive languages, not just for politically correct reasons, but because a language from so-called tribal people and such can be extremely complex. I mean, whatever can be. Well, I could be wrong on that. I don't know. That's the thing, though. What do you mean by primitive language? What like where does it stops? Like, uh, no. So no, I think it's my understanding of the problem is that it's possible in theory, but you will have to do extremely lengthy description or take words from other languages and such. It's Yes, arbitrariness. Yeah, yes, the popo and kiki stuff. Yeah, that's important as well. Yeah, that's interesting because he recognizes this, yet he makes that rigid categorization that completely like divides animals from, well, animals, not humans from humans, on humans from eyes and stuff, which is not that self-evident. Whatever. Okay, well, I'll go over that later on. Okay, I'm back. Correct, yeah, John. No, it doesn't. Oh shit. Okay. Yeah. It's kind of strange that someone at POC, which specializes in race relations, and Kuro talks about primitive languages, but whatever. I mean, it's not for politically correct reasons. It's because what do you have a lot of people. You have 100 of different populations with 100 different languages. Those populations are difficult to classify as primitive in that broad sense that we have like, okay, I can understand that a Batek from the Taman Negara National Park or some extremely isolated Australian Aboriginal population that still use most of the traditional lifestyle can be understood as primitive, even if it's ridiculous because they are in constant contact with the West, want it or not, and they take technology from it, and they're well aware of. But then you go, I don't know, in Indonesia or South America, and you see certain population using agriculture, still making, like, where does it stop? I mean, and then obviously, like, it mixes with neighboring languages. I mean, Seriously. Okay. This is a whole fucking debate. How complex? I'm not going through over this. Okay, but that's interesting. What? Okay, but I'm sorry, I don't make like immediate research because it takes like a minute to load. Go fuck yourself. It's Mac Walther. Oh my god. Okay, Mac Walther. History of human language. Oh no, 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 I don't. Fuck, there's no PDF. I need the data. Come on, man. I don't. I don't know. I don't know. I just know the position of Greg is dumb for us for a number of reasons. I didn't know that specific criticism when it comes to language, but there were other things I've seen that clearly show that Greg like missed key points, whatever. He's not the first or the last person to miss like basic stuff when it comes to that matter. I'm not like the smartest person in the universe on academic mistakes, but at least I own them. You know what I mean? And if someone comes and like criticize me, I know I will review that shit. I'm like, well, yeah, but you can have equivalents in cetaceans, right? Like how cetacean, like emit vocalization, how they learn. That's something I always wonder. Like when a small dolphin comes out of the womb, they are already like quite autonomous, like a 2 or 3 years old in a human child. But when do they start like to vocalize socially? That's I haven't used echolocation at all. I'm very interested in that. Oh my god! I really hope you don't hear my very Latin and Argentinian parents having a mini fight over a piece of meat. So don't worry, it's 35 years of that. Yes, even the features describe recursion. Yes, that's extremely. That's even like the basics. Like recursion is extremely fucking important. Like I talk a lot about this when I'm trying to like summarize my project. I don't know if Greg doesn't talk about recursions. I'm sorry, but he's not. I'm whatever. I mean, uh, I don't know if to agree with that. I don't know why how he bases that. I don't know. I know there's a controversy because of the Piraha language, but in linguistics, whatever. Yeah, okay, that was discussed at length, but by Bateson. But he makes basic mistakes in that, which he shouldn't do these mistakes because of his position as both an anthropologist and someone that was extremely knowledgeable of the Eurasian classical ethology, but he makes them nonetheless. We'll go over that. Okay, he makes mistakes. Like it's not me like making a mistake in interpreting it. He clearly makes it, but we'll go over that. Makes them. To be restricted, there's a word. Oh, that's extremely. Oh, whoa! If this is true, this is big. That said, there's still the possibility of lingua franca and such that was shown by those two, whatever. But I need that data. This is extremely important data. No. When I put imp, it's important. It's not a fucking file or whatever. Okay. No, that's right. Oh, seriously? He doesn't? Oh my god. If this is true, it's fucked. If this is true, this is extremely fucked. He literally can do that. This is the basics. This is I, this is this is like one of the most basic aspects of the whole discussion regarding cetacean communication linguistics. Like he's not the only one to make that mistake, by the way. Seriously, even neonats? Well, the Google film was talking about before. Kir Brunel. Okay. No. Come on, I just want to. Oh my god. Okay, so Kasewicz is. Well, yeah, but he's doing the frequency. Like, he's recording beyond the human hearing range. Makes sense. The CMAScope is. Yeah, makes sense. But as far as I'm aware, he's not doing frequency translocation. He's just recording shit. Whatever. Yes, that's important. I've been stressing that out. Russell had been stressing that out as well. I think Ken as well. This is extremely fucking important because it tends to come back in the discussion on the matter. as the dolphins have like equivalents of the lips inside their skull. Okay, but okay, but what is the impact of this if the sound is the same? Who cares about the way it was produced? The problem is that maybe the so-called whistles convey more complexity than we assume. Wait, opening your mouth. No, it just makes me sound like a fucking retard. Yeah, I shouldn't use the R word. Like, fuck that. Uh, Forrest Gump gave me the R word pass in '93. Okay, fuck you. I'm gonna. No, I shouldn't do that. No. Okay, first I have autismo, so I can make those jokes. No, I can't. I won't make them again. Okay, sorry. Oh, oh shit. Oh well. He says that we went over that, but basically I'm not sure what he's referring. The problem is I don't know how much this signature whistle thing is a real thing or an artifact of captive cetaceans. That was what was argued by Markov, if I'm not wrong. On Ostroyev, I think. Ostroyev, whatever. I don't like the notion of signature whistle because it tends to imply some kind of rigid, non-learned take on the notion of name we normally is in humans, like something that you basically learn by yourself, and I don't know. This is important because this is basically one of the biggest objections against the Bechdelian theory of cetacean linguistics. Well, it's not the only one, but yeah, that's the thing though. Like research communicate using only sound generated on command. Like, yeah, okay, no, no, I'm an idiot. Okay, no, yeah, no, it's the CHA system. It's bullshit. Whatever. Like we went over that, but it's important to show the flows of the other projects when it comes to. I mean, if they did, okay, I'm not sure what he meant. They place system language in the. Yep, okay, we went over that in a stream. I remember that. I'm not familiar with the visiting Martian example. The whatever. We could go over the signature whistle thing, especially Markov paper, but this is crucial. Like that's the thing though. Like why will cetacean will have evolved our system to innately like emit a random name? They will like this is strange. Yes, yes, you can argue that it has some kind of function, but also it's extremely. I've said that before, but I found extremely funny that the same people that refuse any possibility that may be some kind of innate drive behind hunting in cetacean are the same people that are obsessed with the notion of signature whistle. That said, it's true that some birds kind of have an equivalent of this. I don't know. I could have a function for communication between newborns on that. The other thing is that could be an artifact used by adult cetaceans voluntarily to control and communicate with the newborn rather than that could be a reasonable explanation. Not the name, but something they use especially for like neonates on young dolphins that yes, that's part of the problem by the way. What do he means by that? Because as far as I'm aware, the sounds were like computer generated. No, not they weren't using our voice, as far as I'm aware. I thought they were like whistles made by a computer. Yeah, but that's yeah, I got a gay problem, whatever. Yeah, they say that, but whatever. That's the problem of that paper. He totally ignores bridge language, pigeons, whatever. This is, I don't. Herzing talks about that. Why isn't he? Okay, so I tried. Yeah, why aren't they doing this though? But why aren't they doing this though? That's the fucked up part. We'll go over the CHAT system because I want to break it up in detail. Using a recording capability. Oh my god, seriously? Kill me, please. Seriously? Okay, yes, she changed before, after, but whatever. That must be true, but I'm interested in knowing exactly what exactly are the papers and studies before them that didn't restrict themselves to 20 kz, whatever. That makes sense. What do they mean exactly by harmonics? I'm sorry, I know that's a basic notion in linguistics, but I'm really bad when it comes to that. Not everything, but like on some specific aspects that have to do with whatever. Okay, repeating signal. I think I'll stop this stream in a few minutes. Well, but he wasn't talking about uh, dolphin hearing just what they emit. Okay, but why not using frequency translocation then? That's the thing though. They recognize the issue and then. I'll have to go over that because that could be important. What the fuck is all of this? That's not what. Oh, yes, yes. That's interesting. I stumbled over this a while ago. Right. Well, that was Herzing. Okay. So what? She took that notion from that set guy, and she didn't acknowledge whatever. How do they know that though? Like when they say name, what? It's a signature whistle. It's a whistle with another form. What do they mean by that? Yeah, that's well known. Oh, I tried to buy it. I don't know. Like, how do they know this? Is it like a whistle they hear, which is below, which is in range of hearing, or do they put like a hydrophone in the water? I don't know that. Junior. Uh, I have no idea about that. Yes, that could be used to Stillman the other side when it comes to like past projects. I don't know. Yes, yes, okay, yes, yes. That's important. But when they say phoneme, how do they know that it's a phoneme? Because part of the problem is defining it as phoneme. Okay, if it's, I need that paper. Yes, that's, yeah, yeah. I mean, they know the primal frequency, right? So why? That's, it could be possible to miss something like that. I mean, this is basic cytology. I just don't get it. Like, obviously, the fact that they don't even suppute the possibility that, I mean, if this is true, this is fucked. Yes, but I don't get it. Why wasn't this detected though? Like, why? They say a brick will be occupied by either a voiced or invoiced consonant. Like what? Like a k? Like a, what do they mean by invoiced consonant? Like, what? I'm sorry, there is basic shit like, consonant sourde. A vibration. Okay, so, okay, I'll close, yeah. Uh, without the larynx for breathing, which will be B. No, wait, what? Like peculiar, peculiar. Mm, potato. Because I say potato instead of potato, okay. On poo is, okay. I think this is it, but I want to be sure I'm not saying some stupid shit when it comes to. Okay, yeah, okay, okay. Sorry, I'm really retarded. Yeah, yeah, I'm not. I'm really like not very bright. Okay, no, I'm not going to use that word anymore. Um, that must be communication between man and oof, communication between man and dolphin. Okay, when they say, I hate when they use behaviorists this way because they always make a confusion between people which are experts in animal behavior and people that are like behaviorists in the sense of behaviorism, like like the scientific hypothesis on the ideology and such, which on it tends also to be like what they say animal behaviorist, it tends to imply that these people are behaviorists de facto, like because it's a way to not say ethologist or whatever. Like people that are experts in animal behavior without, like in a practical sense, tend to a certain degree like include things that have to do with training on as such, things that have to do with like condition response. But we will go over that in another stream. I'm just going to that's also that bothers me as well because we don't know how many languages they have. They can have like they could have like 10,000 different languages. The fact that we like speak about like one united language is whatever. He knows that because he contradicts himself when he talks about the population, to the Shannon Estuary, whatever. I mean, it's not a contradiction, it's a simplification, which I dislike. What does he mean by the same list of communication techniques with portion of the nasal patch placing the mouth? Does he mean by like expressions or like I don't know. It's weird. Yeah, that is obviously the fact that some, and also I believe some of the current first contact projects don't, they completely ignore the problem of frequency and whatever. I think the GABA-GAIB has this problem. Not sure though. Yeah, so I mean, well, not really a middle language, but nonetheless. Okay, so I remember that, but I believe it was with sounds that were like, whatever, we'll go over that. I'm sorry, I jump shit because this is boring. I'll go over that later. I'm, I'm not sure if they were the first to show the mirrors. No, that's not true. No, 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 no. They weren't the first. I think, no, 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 no. I don't remember if it was Horace Dobbs, but I know some people did it with solitary dolphins in the 70s. There is a documentary on shit. They weren't the first. They may have been the first in a study, but they weren't the first, like de facto. I have a doubt. I always mix them, but I know whatever. Oh.